Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, September 17th. Tropical scene still quite active in the Atlantic Basin. We have a few systems right now. Hurricane Humberto spinning off the southeastern coast of the U.S. and continuing to pull away. It is a strong Category 1 storm this morning with maximum sustained winds at 90 miles per hour. Could become a major hurricane. Continues to look like it'll stay away from the East Coast, but we'll still have to watch it over the next couple of days. It will continue on a northeast track for another 24 hours or so, and then may take a slight left turn to the north or even the northwest for a little while before it resumes that northeast track and away from the U.S. coastline. Again, it could become a major hurricane over the next couple of days. A second system in the far western Gulf of Mexico will produce some heavy rainfall over southeastern Texas, southwestern Louisiana. It very well could be called a tropical depression at this particular point in time. There are some gusty winds with it and some heavy rainfall. Yet a third system continues to intensify over the eastern part of the Atlantic Ocean. It will most likely become a named storm, and that would be Imelda over the next few days as it continues on a track to the north and west. It could very well stay off the U.S. East Coast in coming days, but too early to write that system off again. Here's the latest surface map. First of all, Gulf of Mexico system right here. And again, it could cause some heavy rainfall places like Houston, Texas, southwestern Louisiana, up to 6 inches of rain possible associated with this system. Not being called a tropical depression right now, but it very well could be. Here is Humberto right here, and it continues to move slowly to the northeast. Again, it will continue on a northeast track for a while and then kind of make a left turn before it resumes a northeast track again, and we'll keep our eye on it. Strong Category 1 right now, on the verge of becoming a Cat 2. It could very well end up being a major hurricane at some point in time. And meanwhile, up in New England, the Mid-Atlantic region, high pressure will dominate the next several days. It's like a very nice week in the Mid-Atlantic region, in the northeast U.S. Comfortable temperatures and humidity levels. Frontal boundary zone way down in the southern part of the Atlantic right now. And again, a very nice week. And it will be a dry week. This is really evolving into a dry weather pattern for much of the Mid-Atlantic region and northeast. No rain expected right through the upcoming weekend. Comfortable temperatures in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City right through the work week. The weekend turns warmer as this high shifts off the eastern seaboard. On the backside, we'll get a southwesterly flow of low-level air. Temperatures move well back into the 80s again for highs on Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. But till then, 70s in general for highs in the I-95 corridor, 50s in the overnight hours. Here's the latest infrared satellite imagery loop of the eastern two-thirds of the nation, and again, quite an impressive system here in the far western Gulf of Mexico. Excuse me. You may recall this originated over the eastern Gulf of Mexico, basically moved on a westerly track, and is now going to cause some heavy rainfall across southeastern Texas, southwestern Louisiana, up to half a foot possible over the next 24 hours or so. Humberto, now a strong Cat 1, continuing to move to the northeast. Again, it will make a left turn at some point and turn north or even northwest for a bit of time, but then resume that northeasterly track out over the open waters of the Atlantic. Yet a third system exists over the eastern Atlantic that we'll have to deal with in 5 to 7 days or so. It should intensify into a named tropical system. Meanwhile, lots of sunshine today across the mid-Atlantic and northeast U.S. High pressure will build into southeastern Canada over the next couple of days, and it will stay in control not only through the work week but over the weekend as well as it moves off the eastern seaboard. Will turn warmer this weekend, but very comfortable today right through Friday in D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and surrounding areas of the Mid-Atlantic as well as New England. Well, here's the official positioning of the tropical systems right now in the Atlantic Basin. This will cause some heavy rainfall right in this region right here. Humberto moving to the northeast right now. Will take a left turn at some point and then resume a northeast track. Keeping our eye on that. Could very well reach Category 3 status over the next couple of days. Right now a strong Cat 1 could turn into a Cat 2 over the next few hours. Meanwhile, here's another system, very good chance of it intensifying into a named tropical storm. That would be Imelda, right now moving on a northwest track. There are signs that it could turn away as it moves in much the same position as Humberto and then turn out to sea, but certainly too early to write that system off right now. We'll have to monitor that over the next week to 10 days or so. Well, let's walk through last night's 6E GFS model run. Here's Hurricane Humberto, and here's a tropical system, not yet a named system, not even a tropical depression. Very well could be labeled as a tropical depression. Again, heavy rainfall in this part of the nation. Let's move forward here. And the main story up across the northeast will be strong high pressure, and that'll cause an onshore flow along the Carolina coastline all the way down to Florida for much of the second half of the work week, and very nice weather in the mid-Atlantic, in the northeast part of the nation with that strong high pressure system. Look at that. This is now Thursday morning, 48 hours from now, complete control up across the northeast. Meanwhile, some heavy rainfall continues across eastern Texas associated with that tropical system, now currently over the far western Gulf of Mexico. Let's go all the way into the upcoming weekend. High pressure Friday, sitting right on top of the Mid-Atlantic region. Humberto still off the East Coast, now making that left turn before it resumes a northeast track after this time period. Once this high then slips off the eastern seaboard, we'll get a warming up over the upcoming weekend with some southwesterly flow, first moving into the Midwest, but then warmer air into the eastern part of the nation on Saturday afternoon. Probably the 70s for highs over the next few days in the I-95 corridor region, but the 80s return over the upcoming weekend, and by the end of the weekend we could very well be near 90 degrees in places like D.C. This is the Sunday afternoon forecast, and here's that southwesterly flow of air on the backside of the high. There will be a cold front approaching from the northwest, could cause some showers, let's say early next week, Monday time frame along the eastern seaboard. A warmer weekend, high temperatures back well up in the 80s. Then some signs here that system now over the far eastern Atlantic will come in this position right here and perhaps then turn away, much like Humberto is doing right now, but way too early to write that system off. Still an active tropical scene, but very nice weather in the Mid-Atlantic and New England over the next several days. That's it for now. For PerspectaWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.